Manchester United started off the transfer window in exciting fashion. Leny Yoro was brought into the club to stiffen up the heart of our defence, and Joshua Zirkzee was signed to provide competition for Rasmus Højlund up front. It was a really promising start, but since then, things have gone just a little bit quiet. And it's concerning because Manchester United still have a lot of areas that they need to strengthen. But with time running out, I think it's safe to assume we will only see 2, maybe 3 more players brought into the club. So if it is to be 3 more players, what position, and more importantly, what profile should we prioritise? Let's take a look. So if we look at the squad, the first thing that United clearly still need is a right-sided centre-back. Of course, we signed Leny Yoro to address that position, but he is now out of the team for the foreseeable future with injury. Manchester United still need another centre-back to come into this position, and there are a few boxes that they need to tick in order to be the right player for us. First of all, they need to be comfortable on the ball. Onana has hinted at the fact that United will take more risks in possession in the first phase this season. That means our right centre-back has to be comfortable on the ball in the first phase. I don't believe they have to be elite in this area because of the players we've got around them, but they still need to be strong in this department. They also need to be strong on the ball a little bit further up the pitch as well. They do need to be someone that can progress the ball, either via the carry, stepping forward with the ball, taking responsibility yourself, moving into midfield, or passing the ball forward, through the lines into the likes of Bruno Fernandes in the half space, or Ahmad as well, also in the pockets. Manchester United need that from their central defender, but there are also a lot of boxes that need to be ticked out of possession as well. We need someone who is pretty darn tall and strong in the air. Again, I don't think they have to be elite in this area, but we do need a strong, competitive aerial defender. That is an absolute must for our right centre-back position. We also need, though, someone that is athletic enough to cover wide areas. Now again, we're not looking for a master of the wide areas, but certainly someone that is comfortable moving into the channels. So should our right back move further forward, either out wide or into midfield, leaving this space in behind, we need a right centre back that can get across into these positions and cover. And then of course lastly, we're looking for a centre back. We want the box defence to be good. Now there are a couple of options out there for United. One option still is definitely De Ligt. I mean, he's been linked with United for a long time now this summer. I still think he could tick a lot of the boxes of what we need, but I still think a really good option is Trevor Chalobah from Chelsea. I think he ticks all the boxes. He's going to be a lot cheaper. He's versatile, a homegrown talent. I really like the idea of that, but regardless of who it is, we do have to sign a right centre back. The defence is crying out for it, so INEOS need to get it done. Now if we go back to looking through our squad, there is another clear weakness, and it comes down the left-hand side of the defence. Now the actual starting quality is unbelievable. Luke Shaw and Lisandro Martinez are 2 of the best in the world in their position, in my opinion. But it comes after them, the depth. It's lacking. And because of a lack of time, a lack of money as well, United need to try and find a player that can do both jobs. Be a backup to Luke Shaw at left back, but also be a backup to Lisandro Martinez at left centre back. So the question is, how do you find that in one player? What is the skill set that you're looking for? Well, the first thing is, they have to be good on the ball, because Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw are both phenomenal ball players, 2 of our most press-resistant players, technically secure players in the first phase. This player has to bring something similar. This has to be someone who can play with the ball at their feet, play out from the back, play under pressure, but also be progressive as well. Luke Shaw and Lisandro Martinez are often tasked with moving the ball into the midfield, but also down the line for someone like Marcus Rashford. Therefore, again, this player has to be really strong on the ball. We are looking for a technically complete player, someone who can play in the first phase, but also progress in the second phase. Of course, there are defensive boxes to tick as well, and the one for me is the ability to defend wide channels. Now, that's not necessarily key when they play left centre-back, because we do have tactical structures which can kind of cover that up. But when we are also asking them at times to play left back, they're obviously going to have to defend wide at times, so we do need someone who is comfortable doing that. And again, lastly, ideally they're going to have a bit of height in the box. So for example, if we're playing against a big team, we have the choice, if we want to do it, to take Lisandro Martinez out, to bring in aerially a slightly stronger defender. Again, this doesn't have to be an elite aerial defender, but we do need an upgrade in that area. Someone that can come into the team to replace Lisandro Martinez or Luke Shaw without the quality dropping too much. So versatility is the main thing here. Now for me, there are 2 options that stand out from the rest. One of them would be David Hanko playing for Feyenoord. He's a really good defender. He played left back at the Euros for his country, but for Feyenoord actually plays left centre back. Very good on the ball. He can defend in wide channels as well. He's better in the air than both Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw. so I think he's a really good option. And then the other option is John Lukumi from Bologna. Now, I think this signing is a little bit unlikely with Calafiori already leaving the club, but Lukumi for me would be a brilliant option. He hasn't really been tested as of yet as a proper left back, but I think he can do that job, and he can certainly play the Lisandro Martinez role. So I like Lukumi. Again, United do need to find someone who can do this job of filling both roles. I just quickly wanted to interrupt the video there to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, JerseyFifa.com, the home of affordable football kits. If you use the link in the description down below, you will find yourself a website which has all of the newest releases, home shirts, away shirts, and actually even old classic shirts as well. And if you don't actually want to wear the shirt yourself, I've heard they make a pretty good background display as well. So if you want to get yourself a shirt, use the link in the description and use code JerseyFifa for 10% off your order. Go check it out. And then finally, the obvious other glaring issue in the Manchester United squad is the lack of partner for Kobbie Mainoo. Casemiro is in there. He had a pretty decent pre-season, but I still think we all feel as though we need a replacement. We need an upgrade. We do need a ball-winning midfielder to come in, replace Casemiro, and play alongside Kobbie Mainoo. And like I said there, the key thing is, I think they need to be a good ball winner. Someone who can do the dirty side of the game, do the defensive work, cover ground, kind of put out fires across the pitch, win the ball in midfield, bring a bit of grit to the centre of the park, which perhaps Kobbie Mainoo doesn't always bring. But importantly, they do need to be good on the ball as well. Particularly in the first phase, I think we need a player that is comfortable under pressure. Now, I'm not necessarily asking for press resistance, the ability to spin and turn under pressure. I don't think we need that. I think Kobbie can do that. I think Luke Shaw can do that. Dalot can do that. Lisandro Martinez can do that. Even Onana can do that. So I don't think they have to be press resistant, but they do need to be press secure, if you like. Secure under pressure, particularly with the passing, the ability to play out from the back. And then as we move a little bit further forward up the pitch, I think ball carrying would be ideal without being essential. But I think the big thing, actually, is just someone who can retain the ball. Keep it ticking over. Again, keep it fairly simple in possession. Let the others around them be a little bit more complex with the way that they play. Just a player in the middle of the park here who's going to keep it nice and simple. Lateral, sideways passing, a couple of long passes forward here and there to spread the play. But in general, keeping it very simple in the middle of the pitch, giving United a retention point in midfield. We have lacked that over the past few seasons. A player that can get the ball and just slow it down a little bit, keep possession for the side, move the ball on to someone else. And there are a few options out there still in this position. It is a slightly limited market, but there's a few that I like. Option 1 for me is Daniel Bolocca. We spoke of him the other day. You all already know his strengths now. Press resistance in the first phase is off the charts, but on the ball he can be that retention cycling option. Out of possession, very decent. Again, we saw the numbers the other day. I think he performs well there. Another option that we discussed was also Pepelu. Again, a player who is comfortable in the first phase, although not quite as good, but he's comfortable enough and good on the ball. He's a good passer, and I think he could become a metronomic midfielder. In terms of out of possession, he covers ground reasonably well and is a very intense dueler. In terms of going into battles, he comes out with the ball more often than not. He's a very strong ball winner, so he could be a good option, and I think he would be affordable. And then the other option is a bit of a throwback, someone that we were talking about 18 months ago, maybe even longer than that, and he has been linked with a club in recent days. Mainoo Kone, or perhaps you know him as Kawadio Kone, currently playing for Borussia Mönchengladbach over in Germany. This is a really strong midfielder. Now, I don't feel as though right now he is perfect for United. I think he needs coaching. Over the past couple of seasons, he has played a slightly more advanced role. However, I do feel that if you refine his game a little bit, get him to focus on one particular area of the game, I think he could become the perfect hybrid between a 6 and an 8. His press resistance in the first phase is quality. He's a decent passer, although not high volume yet. That's where he needs to change. He's a brilliant ball carrier. He would bring drive to the team, but out of possession, he's phenomenal. He wins most of his battles out of possession, covers ground well, and is reasonably good in the air. So again, I think he would be a good option. And I think that's the main point here. There are options out there still. Manchester United now, with 3 weeks left of the transfer window, are leaving it a little bit late. But most teams are as well. Liverpool haven't signed anyone. Manchester City have signed one player. Arsenal have signed one player, I do believe. The market is quiet at the moment, so it isn't time to panic. As United fans, it isn't time to turn on INEOS. It's difficult for them because the previous lot, I don't know if you realised, didn't run the club very well, which has made it quite difficult to move players on, which makes it more difficult to bring players in. So give INEOS a bit of time because the options are still out there. I think if we have to prioritise 3 positions, I would go for the 2 centre-backs and a central midfielder. In an ideal world, we would also bring in at least 1 fullback as well, but we don't live in an ideal world, so we'll have to see what Manchester United do. Either way, players have to come in, we have to strengthen in these areas. Let's hope that United do it. Will they? I'm not sure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. How much do you think United can spend on these players? And what positions do you think we should prioritise? And also, let me know some profiles and some players as well that we should target. But apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.